Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Aaron B. And I got my co-host to the right, Shane Carter. How's it going, Shane?
It's going real good. I'm sure everybody heard the news that I am the new acting host of Believe in Texas Tech, which is amazing for me because that is my alma mater. That's my school. And I've also been added on with the NFL and NBA data team with follow the for the numbers, or FTN as some people know it more dominantly. So things have been going active a lot in my life. I still want to make time for the show because I still enjoy it and I still enjoy helping the audience grow. But that is where been a lot of my attention's been for the last week or so.
Hey, I appreciate you for just taking time out of your busy work schedule to even just to be on this show, bro. I wish I had a soundboard going on so you could have the cheering emoji, the clapping hands and everything. But I'm gonna work on that next time something big happens in your life for sure.
I see how it is. I guess you don't. I guess you didn't care enough to have it set up from your head time, but
That,
that's fine. That's fine. It is
my
what it
bad.
is.
I'll work on it. Let me say, yeah. But
That was all right.
you're good, bro. So before we get into the show, we gotta show love to our sponsors and everything. So it's What a Clean Solution. You need to get your carpets clean, couches, tile, and grout moving in or moving out. You need to get that place looking brand new. Call What a Clean Solution, a family-owned mobile cleaning service that can clean anything from a small carpet to even making your car or truck look brand new. Give them a call or a text at 210-790-1410 using promo code TNT for 5% off your total cleaning. That's promo code TNT at 210-790-1410 for 5% off. And then our second sponsor is SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have tickets, concert, games, shows, and more. And use promo code, all capital letters, tacos touchdowns, to get you $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek, a ticket for every fan. So our second thing, our thing we got to talk about today, the Cowboys actually entered the free agent chat in it. What is it? Mid-June, after all the teams and they added all the players. UFL season is over. The Cowboys are getting active in free agency finally. So we got two new players: linebacker Willie Harvey Jr. and cornerback former first rounder Gareon Conley. So what do you think of our new addition to the Cowboys?
Well, I love you. I love the addition of Willie Harvey only because he was the UFL's equivalent for Defensive Player of the Year. He led the league in tackles. He had a pair of passes intercepted. I remember when he came out in the draft, his big like him a lot because he was somewhere between 5'10" and 6 foot, depending on where you want to. You can take what a scout says for their height and what an NFL team says for height with a grain of salt because some teams are gonna make it look better than others. I remember I looked into his old combine numbers and the old reports on him were that speed was an issue. And I think he tested like a 4.6 40, which tells you right away if you're playing linebacker, you're probably going to be playing Mike because your outside linebackers have to be a little faster. What you like about him though, if you saw him play with St. Louis, not Seattle, was he did a good job of covering ground and making up for the fact that maybe he wasn't the fastest guy. He was really smart, real cerebral, and knew where the ball was going to be, and that's what you asked for in most of your linebackers. I don't know what his chances are looking like to make the team because the Cowboys. He's in a fortunate situation to where I think he comes into where there's not a lot of competition for that extra linebacker spot. But they showed last year they're willing to go light at linebacker to go heavy at others just because they think they can replicate success with other players at the position.
I think when it comes to him, his best chance of making his team would be on special teams. Like, do you think he could play some will on this team? Because I know we're kind of looking at Linval as that backup Micah and for the future
Sure.
green dot guy. Do you think he'd be like a backup for Overshown but his best chance of making his team is special teams?
Well, you're right. Special teams is the way that most bubble guys on the outside are gonna have to like really earn their spot. Is like he has to show he can value on special teams. Like I said, I think strictly coming in, he would be considered more of a Mike, just because if you're gonna be playing Sam, and for those that don't know, between Will and Sam linebacker, the Sam, which starts with an S, starts with strong side. The Will linebacker starts with the W, stands for weak side. And typically, the strength a lot of times is predicated on where the tight end lines up, and more often than not, that the Sam is asked to cover the sometimes it depends on the defensive formation if the Sam is covering the tight end, the fullback, whatever it is. Like it's predicated based on where the strength of the defense is. So do I think he can cover? I think he's good at zone coverage. I think he's very, very good in spot coverage. I don't think and because you watch like felt like I have. You don't really see him a lot in man coverage because I think he can get lost, especially in those mismatches. I would be open to him trying maybe as a Sam only just because if he's playing weak side linebacker, more often than not he's going to be lined up in a mismatch against a running back out the backfield or a slot receiver or whatever it is. And I think his best bet would be just to be as close to his area as possible.
I definitely agree. We got my guy Walter in the building. He said, "What's up, boys? I see y'all in week 6, Lions Avenue. Yeah, definitely check out. He got some great content and stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be a nice little match.
What's up, Walter?
Nice. Yes, sir. So what I almost forgot the other guy. We signed
Gareon Conley, yeah.
Yeah, a former first rounder. He was supposed to be this lockdown type of corner, could play inside and outside, but he dealt with a lot of injuries in his first year.
Were you a fan of his coming out of college?
I'm trying to remember a lot of this game, but I was kind of a somewhat of a fan. I know that he had some accusations and all that stuff. He was supposed, but he ended up getting drafted in that first round. I know he's a Paul Gunther guy, so I see the connection with that. Were you kind of more leaning towards the DeAndre Baker, or were you kind of, if you had to choose between the two?
Just from off the field concerns, I was gonna stay away from DeAndre Baker.
I get you.
I don't want to bring that up. I know it's old news. I know he's trying to work past that, but I will give Gareon Conley credit. I actually liked him a lot coming out of Ohio State. I thought he was really, really good. I thought that what's his name? The guy Denzel Ward. What I thought Denzel Ward is. I thought Conley was going to be the same kind of guy because you saw him. He was a little small, like you said. I think he's like 5'10", 5'11", 180-ish, and that's depending on like what these guys list him as again. But what you loved is that he was really, really smooth, really, really fast with the ball, and he had a really good job tracking it. And you're right, injuries obviously derailed his career a little bit, and he had a hard time finding a fit. A lot of teams saw him more as a nickel corner. He didn't always play at his best there. Obviously, some players are scheme dependent. And what I like about Conley is that like it shows the Cowboys understand where they are at cornerback because right now, and you might disagree because I'll ask you this like when we're going in, but like right now I only see the Cowboys have 4 locks at cornerback to make the roster, right? Diggs, Bland, Lewis, and Kalen Carson. Kalen Carson I think is actually going to challenge for that third starting cornerback spot, and Conley's going to play a similar role. What it shows to me is I think the Cowboys can appreciate that Bland, who's an all-pro, filled in admirably on the outside. I think his best position is in the slot. I've been saying that, and I know you've been echoing those same sentiments, that we know he can play the outside, but he's much more effective on the outside. Yeah. On the inside.
Oh, you're good. So I see Conley more as as like a depth guy, but between him and Scott, I don't think you already, like you said, you already have your set 4 corners and everything. So Conley kind of be more that depth piece, and you when it comes to the 5th corner, you're looking at him being like more of a special team addition, and you haven't really seen him actually play special teams. But if he wants to make this team, I think that's where he's gonna have his best chance. And let me see, we got Walter coming in. Carson is a damn good player.
He really is. I thought Carson was going to be a late second or somewhere in the 3rd round type cornerback. I really liked him. I thought he was one of the better run stopping cornerbacks, especially. Yeah. I know a lot of people didn't love his size. I think Carson has average size. He's like 5'11", 190. That's very average cornerback size. But he is very good at playing the run. He's very tough. And at the very least, you combine that because he does good ball tracking speed. You can work with that. You really can.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest knock why he got in the 4th round, and in that round it's just because of the size. Because if you look at the film, he looks like a 2nd or 3rd round, and it was definitely still about us. But I think, who do you have as making the team most likely between the two? I know they're playing 2 different positions.
Between Carson and Conley?
No, Harvey and Conley.
Oh, Harvey and Conley. Sorry, between those 2.
Are you good?
Oh, God, I really think I really think that Harvey is going to have an easier time with it, only because even though both linebacker and cornerback only have what I would say 4 lockdown players, because if in this case I'm counting Micah as more of an edge anyway. If you look at linebacker, Leafau, Kendricks, and Overshown, that's your 4 right there. And I think just because of the age of Kendricks, I think with the uncertain health of Overshown, I think Harvey's going to get a lot of opportunities. And you don't really like a lot of the other linebackers there. I know they like Buddy Johnson. I know they do like Buddy Johnson, but he has just a high of a wall to climb. What hurts Conley though is just because they at least have familiarity with their cornerbacks. Let's go and put C.J. Goodwin in that discussion as well, because even though he's primarily a special teams player, that's going to take a roster spot. I think they're comfortable, quote unquote, comfortable with Deshaun Wright if he's a special teams player. That would also work against him. I think Conley's going to have to beat out Deshaun Wright and say, hey, I'm more valuable not only as a defender but as a special teams player. And that's where that 5th spot's going to come from.
Yeah, I almost forgot about Deshaun Wright. So it's literally between 3 corners for that spot. Like, you got Goodwin is basically a lock when it comes to special team unless he gets hurt, and then it's between Scott, Wright, and Conley for that 5th spot.
I think Scott has an uphill battle. He was a Quinn pick.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, when it comes to a different coordinator, just because the other coordinator like him doesn't mean that Zimmer and his staff is a big fan of him. I know they still got Al Harris on the team that could vouch for Scott, but he's definitely got to show out when it comes to the preseason and everything. So our next thing is kind of sticking on connections. Should the Cowboys sign Linval Joseph? He's a Mike Zimmer guy. He played for him from 2014 to 2019. Veteran guy. He's 35 years old. Not the guy that he was when he was with the Giants or the Vikings. But when it comes to our defensive tackle room, we're very light on it, because you basically only have Osa, and you got Mozzie Smith, who's coming off a shoulder injury, and we don't know if he's even over 300 pounds, because you need your one tech over 300 pounds, and he hasn't kept weight. And then when it comes to other guys, we got a lot of inexperienced guys. You got Daxton, and then you got Carlos Davis, who's kind of a fringe guy, and the other guy is Justin Rogers, who's a 7th round guy. So getting that veteran present in that team, and he's more, I think at this point in his career, he's a space eater. He's not going to be the guy to make the big plays. He's the run stopper, and he's going to free up for the linebackers. So I wouldn't mind getting Linval Joseph at this point in the free agency. What about you?
I would be open to it, especially just because, like you said, there's not really a lot of depth in the interior defensive line. And outside of Osa, who else amongst the defensive tackles can you consistently rely on? Because Osa has become a much more reliable player against the run, and he was already your best interior pass rusher. You look at someone like Chauncey Golston; he's been primarily used as like a flex guy to use all over, who has a hard time finding a spot. Even though I've vouched for him because of his run playing ability. And Mozzie Smith, again, like you said, we don't really know what he's going to be, because last year he was virtually useless, or he was more of an afterthought. So I think if nothing else, you bring in someone who, like you said, Zimmerman's defense at the very least can give you more quality depth at the one technique. Because after Mozzie, you're looking at the 7th round Justin Rogers, who I have making the team. You got Denzel Daxon. I almost said Daxon Denzel for some reason.
I almost did that too.
and Carl Davis, who signed the futures deal, but like nothing Carl Davis that when you saw him last year really gave you any sort of trepidation towards like that they could rely on him. And the reports come out of camp where that he hadn't really developed any better. So if nothing else, because I believe they do have one more spot. I think right now they have 89 guys signed on the roster, so they would have one more spot available. So I think just for nothing else, for fit and for depth, it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, because you need that veteran presence who he's basically what the linebacker room got in Eric Kendricks, who knows what the expectation of Mike Zimmer. Just adding Linval Joseph would be a plus to this team. But going into our third thing, kind of sticking on the Mike Zimmer. So which player outside of the star defense players like the D-Laws and the Parsons and the Diggs, which player you think will thrive in Mike Zimmer's defense this year?
I actually want to hear what you think first, because you look like you're chopping at the bit. I'm kind of curious who you think.
All right, so the guy that I got, he's a bit of an underrated guy that is getting a little more talk, and that's Wanye Thomas. And when you think of the Mike Zimmer's defense, you're looking at the two high safeties, the two single high safeties. And when you think of Donovan Wilson is more of the box guy who's the enforcer, but I think when you look at Wanye Thomas, who can drop into coverage, who can also play in the box, that versatility, which Mike Zimmer likes, and he has good size. He's 6'1", about 212, and he has good zone coverage ability, and I think that's a big plus. And I think he'll get more playing time because they need those two high safeties, and I think that's the best fit for him. And then you're still gonna when it comes to Donovan Wilson, he still can be an effective safety on this team. But I think he's more in the box. You don't really trust Donovan Wilson as that coverage safety, but you can utilize Malik Hooker and Thompson when it comes to that. That's why I see him thriving in this defense and getting more playing time this year.
Am I crazy to think, and this is a guy who I've supported the last couple of seasons, am I crazy to think that Damone Clark couldn't have the season we expect him to? Because last year, he was called into duty to play Mike because of a lot of injuries, and that was out of position for him. I actually give him a lot of credit because his best attribute coming out of LSU was speed and coverage ability, but he was not meant to be the Mike linebacker. That ain't his strong suit. And with Zimmer, you're going back to a more traditional three linebacker look. They're going to take away the Joker style, the Dan Quinn look of a big nickel, at least that being the primary. And I like him being that outside linebacker, the guy who can play more in coverage, play more in space, which is more his MO. And I think Damone Clark going back to where he belongs might actually put him in a better position to succeed.
Yeah, I definitely agree because, like you were saying, that's not his position to be the Mike. But if you let him be free and you let Eric Kendricks be that green dot guy, I think that Damone Clark will thrive. And then you'll see the Marvin Overshown, who showed flashes of well in preseason. As long as he stays healthy, I know he's going to have his getting used to it because he tore his ACL, the mental part. But I think you got a solid three when it comes to our linebackers. I know in a little bit we're going to do – it's the last part of the show. We're going to be doing a little blindly ranking the 5 running backs. So I got this little spin wheel thing going on. Let me get this set up real quick. So I try to get all 32 running backs. I might have missed one, but there's 32 running backs on this thing. But I made
sure are these the top 32 ranked, or are these the 32 projected starters?
32 projected starters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so am I doing 5 and you, or are we both doing the same 5?
We both do the same 5.
Okay.
So it would kind of come to agreement and everything. I know we may disagree, but it's all good. So, but
I ain't gotta agree with you.
You said what?
I said I ain't gotta agree with you.
I know.
I might think you're wrong.
Yeah, of course. You may not think that. You may think Christian McCaffrey may not be the best running back in the NFL, but it's all good. But we'll start with the first. Let me get this wheel going. Here we go. Got Jonathan Taylor.
That was real close. That was real close to CMC too. Okay, yeah. Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you have him if you had to put him in the top 5?
Like so how this works is we're gonna have 5 random names. I have to just like basically pick a spot. Okay. Yeah. I'll say Jonathan Taylor is 4.
You got him at 4? Yeah, I was between 3 and 4. I could rock with him at 4, so I'm gonna put JT right here at the next one. So let's get to the second. Let's see what the second guy. Oh, gotta spin it again. I'll just take him out here. Let me see.
My daughter's gonna join us for this segment.
It's like, where do you got Williams from?
Right. Okay. I'm actually pretty high on Kyren Williams. I'll say 2.
You take 2?
I'll take 2.
Okay, I'll get that. So we got Williams at number 2. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
see. I got Kenneth Walker. I'm between that 3 spot with him. Where do you have Kenneth Walker at?
I like Kenneth Walker too. My question is, do I like him better than Jonathan Taylor? I think in that Seattle, I think I do. I'll put Kenneth Walker 3.
At 3?
Which is tough because I understand the high points of Jonathan Taylor, but like that, I was kind of turned off by that follow up season from his All Pro year, and I don't really know where the Colts offense is looking like. I think I trust Kenneth Walker in Seattle right now more than I trust Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and when I think of Kenneth Walker and Jonathan Taylor, I feel like Walker still has more years to come, and Jonathan Taylor, he had a really good season before, but the last season dealt with the held out, and he wasn't the same guy he was the year before. So we'll see who is the next one. So we move this. We move Kenneth Walker. See who the next guy is. Oh, James Cook. Where are we putting James Cook?
Okay, so the thing is, I don't know if he's better than Kyren Williams, but I definitely think right now I would put him ahead of. The thing is, he can only go 1 or 5, can he?
Yeah, there's 1 and 5, so that's a tough
one. I'll say 5. If nothing else, I feel like even though I like Kyren Williams, I feel like we're gonna land on someone who I can appreciate at 1. James Cook at 1's too rich for me. If I had 3 available, I would put him there. Yeah, but I'll put him at 5.
Yeah, that's kind of the fun part about this blindly thing. So let's see who our number 1 running back in our blind ranking is. Austin Eckler.
I mean, I guess like
it's not. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that I would take Kyren Williams over him.
No, I don't.
No, I think I'm just. It's the only thing with him is that he's kind of up there in age. How old is he? He's 29. Yeah, he'll be 30. This time next year, and I don't know if I like him. And I know everyone's like in love with Washington. He signed with Washington. Everyone loves Washington all of a sudden with Jaden Daniels. Kingsbury's the offensive coordinator. I just don't know if I like that fit over there, but I do like him as a player. I should have put Kyren at 1 because I was tempted to put him at 1, but I was like, okay, but I might land on someone I like even more. So I was gambling. So I makes it a bit bets, right?
Yeah, and when I think of when it comes to the Rams, I trust more utilizing the running back than the Commanders. So I could definitely see what you coming with that. So they're not too way off on the ranks because I've seen some other shows where it was like I can't remember, but it was crazy. But I don't think it's too off. You want to try to do another one, or are you kind of good on this?
I'll leave it up to you.
All right, we'll do one more.
Let's do one more. Yeah, just because. See where we could have. We'll call this one the 6th man if we want to replace somebody.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We'll do a part 2. Let's get the number.
Ooh, Alvin Kamara.
Man.
Okay, so here's the thing. If I replace somebody, it means I can't no longer have them. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, who was my 5? James Cook was my 5. Who was 4?
We had
4 was Jonathan Taylor was 4. Kenneth Walker was 3. Kyren was 2. Eckler was 1. You know what? I'll replace Taylor. I'm not as high on Taylor as everybody else is. I would still have Kamara over Taylor. So I'll put Kamara at 4.
Okay, you put Kamara at 4.
Yeah, what would you do?
Yeah, I can't complain on that. I just don't really trust that offensive line when it comes to the Colts. I know they kind of not the. So I'd rather go with Kamara on that one. So Let's see what the next one. Let's see if Chuba Hubbard.
So I
Come
don't
out of
hate.
Oklahoma State is just he playing for the country.
Yeah, I don't hate Chuba, but I also don't like Chuba in that way. I wouldn't replace anybody on my list with Hubbard.
Nah, yeah. I can't think of any of the players on our list that I would replace with Hubbard. So sorry, Chuba. But we're gonna go with the next one. Number 3. Let's see who we get.
Josh Jacobs. Okay, now we're interested.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so right away, Josh Jacobs on the Packers. I like that a lot. I really do.
That's a good addition.
So I'll take off Kenneth Walker. I'll put Josh Jacobs at 3. And I understand the shelf life of running backs, but I really like Josh Jacobs, and I really like the way that Packers offense is evolving. Yeah, I'll take Josh Jacobs. You can remove Kenneth Walker at 3.
Okay, I got that. I was just thinking about it at 3, so got written that down. So let's see. I don't see any guy that I would replace him with.
It's a no for me, though. And Randy Jackson voice. It's a no for me, dog. All right, last one.
Yeah, let's see what we get.
Ramondre, Gus. Ooh, Gus Edwards. I don't remember who's Gus Edwards signed with. I like Gus Edwards, but where did he sign with? I don't remember, because he was in a really good situation with Baltimore.
The Chargers.
Chargers. Ooh. Because I like the Chargers offensive line.
Yeah.
But I don't like him more than James Cook. I love the concept of James Cook behind the Bills offensive line with Josh Allen as the quarterback. And there's no one in the top 5 that I could replace Gus Edwards with. So I would leave my list as is from there.
Yeah. So we got Austin Ekeler at 1. We got Kyron Williams with
That's
2. Josh Jacobs at 3. Alvin Kamara at 4, and at 5 James Cook. So I don't hate that list, especially if it's blindly running. And I don't know why my mic's acting up right now, but we'll get through these last couple minutes. So I'll fix it when we get done. But before I let you go, bro, where could they find out? Check out your new podcast with the Believe Network.
Well, so we're still working out the kinks of getting it uploaded to Spotify and Apple Music and all that. Right now, I'm uploading all the links across my social media, which is links right to the show on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. All my social media I upload those pretty much every time I do a show, which I do every other day or as the news sees fit. If you're a Texas Tech fan, then follow me and follow up my content. If you ain't, and you just want to hate listen, do that too. Or if you're someone who's just generous with their likes and their views, do that as well. Either way, help me put food in this baby girl's belly. Hang on a second. Look at this child.
Zimmer. You can't say no to that face. Come on.
You can't say no to this face.
If you say no to that, you're wrong. Man, she said it's time to go, huh? She literally just said, it's time to go, Dad. Hey, this has been Tacos and Touchdown Live, and definitely go support my guy Shane with stuff. And you can't say no to that face right there. Yeah, but I'm hurrying up. This has been Tacos and Touchdown. Y'all have a good one. Peace.